What's up, everybody? This is indeed the E-Man, chilling like a villain, singing like Bob Dylan, keeping on the low with some double stuff. Oh, yes! Hey, this is episode 3 of my Q&A, and I want to say thank you so much for all the love and support. Please contact me at specialdeliveryshow86@gmail.com. I'll make an episode out of it, and I want to thank all of you guys for your love and support. So here we go. Dear Mr.E, what are some of the most challenging aspects and rewards of being a podcaster? Signed, the Tetris Goddess. Thank you so much, Tetris. Just want to let you know, the Tetris Goddess, she has an Instagram account and she has her own podcast. And I'll be on her show on April 5th. That's right, on April 5th at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm going live again, y'all. But she's interviewing me, and we're going to have a blast. Please follow me at Mr.E 1986, okay? And also follow her, the Tetris Goddess, on Instagram. We're going to have a good time, y'all. Please stay tuned. Okay, so her questions. What are some of the most challenging aspects of being a podcaster? I got to say, I interview a lot of people, and people have schedules. And I gotta say, that's the most challenging thing. There have been a lot of close calls. There's been some flake outs too, especially my first year of doing this. When I interviewed Shaun Weiss for the Mighty Ducks, big fan of the Mighty Ducks, love all 3 of the movies. And I had my co-host with me who was my best friend. So his name is Juan Dickerson, my best friend. And so it was a little more pressure. So like Shaun, I guess times got mixed up or whatever, and he didn't show up twice. And then I emailed him again, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot. Can you do it now?" And just so happened, I had my questions ready, like I always do. And my friend Juan, he came in late, because if you watch the interview, he came in a little later because he was out there doing something else. So he actually, eventually come in the interview, and we did it. It was fun. It was great, and I think that's the most rewarding thing. Like, I didn't think it was gonna work out, and it did. So that's one of the rewards. And especially when it's seamless and it's conversational, and especially if you're a fan of the person. That's why I like every person I interview. I have to be like a fan of them in some kind of way. If not all of their work, it's at least some of their work, so I could just give them their flowers and show how much I appreciate them. You know what I'm saying? Perfect example of that is when I interviewed Hakeem and Taj Abdul Samad from The Boys. Now, I interviewed them separately. But let's say with Taj, it was just so rewarding. My 13-year-old self was doing backflips, and my inner child was doing backflips, you know what I'm saying? Because I was such a fan of those guys in the 80s and 90s, and I'm still a fan. And so to be able to ask them questions I always wanted to ask them, and then just go back and forth, and he knew, I think from that interview, he knew, he realized how much of a fan I was, It's like, because if you watch that interview, man, it was just like, I wrote down the questions, but a lot of the questions I just had off the top of my head, So it was that's so rewarding, and it's really rewarding when you learn something from some people. From anybody, if you have a conversation with anybody, you learn something from them. That's really rewarding. When I interviewed Patrick Labrato, who's in 3 Ninjas, which is one of my favorite movies growing up, he taught me something about voiceover work. That's something I'm actually thinking about doing. I really love to do voiceover work in commercials. And so, he gave me a little tidbit on that. I interviewed Rolando Molina, another veteran actor. He taught me some certain things too, as far as when it comes to residuals and things of that nature. It was just, I love to learn something from the people that I interview. You know what I mean? Even if it's just questions that I've always wanted to know. My inner child is just screaming out, ask him about this, ask him about that. So those are some of the most rewarding things, you got to understand, especially back in high school, I was really, really introverted, really much to myself, only a few people I let in, and it's so crazy to think that I'm interviewing people that I've always wanted to interview, but just it's crazy to think that I'm just, talking to people, I could tell myself, yeah, my 18-year-old self, yeah, man, you're going to be interviewing people, celebrities, and having roundtable discussions. I would have never believed it. And I mean, in a small way, I guess I've always seen myself being somewhat in the entertainment industry, but never this way. But anyway, keep the questions coming, and peace, y'all.